What comes to mind when you think of London? The charming royalty, the iconic landmarks, or perhaps a magical school of witchcraft and wizardry? But have you ever considered the darker side of this historic city? London, the heart of Great Britain, a city that has stood the test of time and witnessed history unfold. A city that elegantly balances the old with the new, the tradition with the contemporary. From the majestic Buckingham Palace, the home of the Queen, to the iconic Big Ben that has been keeping time since 1859, from the bustling streets of Oxford Circus to the tranquil beauty of Hyde Park, London is a city that wears many hats, each more captivating than the last. However, this city of contrasts also has an undercurrent, a shadowy side that is as much a part of its history as its royal lineage and architectural marvels. A side that was home to dangerous criminals, a refuge for migrants looking for a new life, and a playground for the infamous and the notorious. There was a time when London was a labyrinth of narrow alleys and dimly lit streets, a haven for those who operated outside the law. It was a city that was as much a beacon of hope for those seeking refuge, as it was a hunting ground for the cunning and the ruthless. A city where the law-abiding citizens and the criminals lived side by side, each shaping the other, each leaving an indelible mark on the city's legacy. So when you think of London, think beyond the postcard-perfect views, the royal guards in their red uniforms, the double-decker buses, and the afternoon tea. Think of the stories that the city's ancient walls could tell, the tales of intrigue and mystery, crime and redemption. So, let's peel back the layers of London's glitz and glamour and delve into its intriguing and at times chilling past. In the 19th century, London was a bustling city of contrasts, with the wealthy living side by side with the poor, the migrants, and the criminals. During this time, the city was a melting pot of different people and cultures. The Industrial Revolution had drawn in droves of migrants, hopeful for the opportunities of better employment and living conditions. They arrived in London, not only from different parts of the United Kingdom, but from all over the world, contributing to the city's diverse and vibrant atmosphere. However, this mass influx also resulted in overcrowded slums, where living conditions were abysmal. Disease was rampant, and poverty was a way of life for the majority. The gap between the rich and the poor was starkly evident. The grandeur of the wealthy stood in sharp contrast to the squalor and deprivation of the working-class districts and ghettos. As desperation took hold, crime rates soared. The city's dark underbelly was teeming with pickpockets, thieves, and gangsters. The police force, still in its infancy, was overwhelmed and often powerless against the criminal networks that operated with impunity. London, in the 19th century, was a city where fortunes could be made and lost in the blink of an eye, a place of opportunity and danger. The streets were full of stories, and every alleyway held a secret. The city was a stage where the drama of life played out in all its rawness, from the opulence of high society to the desperation of the slums. This chaotic scene provided the perfect backdrop for the rise of an infamous figure. Amidst the turmoil and the struggle, one man stood out. He was not a politician, a businessman, or a member of the aristocracy. He was a criminal, a shadowy figure who seemed to epitomize the lawlessness and desperation of the times. And in this chaotic, teeming metropolis, one figure emerged who would become the symbol of London's dark underbelly, the city's most notorious criminal. In the heart of London, a figure of terror emerged, a criminal so notorious that his deeds sent shockwaves through the city and beyond. As the city thrived with the hustle and bustle of daily life, fear lurked in the shadows, cast by a criminal whose name became synonymous with terror. This man was no ordinary crook. His crimes were not just heinous but calculated, carried out with a precision that left the authorities baffled and the public living in constant fear. His targets were not chosen at random. They were part of a grand, terrifying scheme that spanned the length and breadth of the city. From the cobbled streets of East End to the grandeur of Westminster, no corner of London was safe from his reach. The police were at their wits' end. Despite their best efforts, they seemed to be always one step behind. The criminal was more than a match for the city's finest, outwitting them at every turn. His ability to evade capture became a thing of legend, a chilling testament to his cunning and audacity. The city's law enforcers found themselves engaged in a cat-and-mouse game, one where the mouse always seemed to elude the cat. The fear he instilled was palpable. It seeped into the fabric of London, casting a dark shadow over the city. The people lived in a state of perpetual fear. their lives disrupted by the horrifying reality of a predator in their midst. The city's vibrant spirit was dampened, its heartbeat slowed by the weight of dread and despair. The migrants, who had come to London seeking a better life, found themselves caught in the crossfire. They too lived under the shadow of this criminal, their dreams of a peaceful existence shattered by his reign of terror. Despite their best efforts, the police were never able to catch this elusive criminal, and his reign of terror continued. His legacy, a chilling tale of crime and fear, remains etched into the annals of London's history, a grim reminder of a time when the city was held hostage by one man's criminal endeavors. As we move into the present day, we find that London's past has left an indelible mark on the city. The echoes of its history reverberate through the streets, whispering tales of a time when crime and migration dominated the landscape. In the boroughs, once rife with criminal activity, we now find a melting pot of cultures and communities. These areas, once feared and avoided, have become hubs of vibrancy and diversity. Yet, the vestiges of their history are still visible. Take for instance the East End, a once notorious haven for criminals that is now a bustling area, teeming with life. The old brick buildings that once housed the desperate and the dangerous now serve as canvases for stunning street art. The old pubs where shady deals were once brokered now host lively debates and cheerful gatherings. Similarly, the areas that were once the refuge of countless migrants now stand as a testament to the resilience and determination of these communities. They have transformed their surroundings, adding their unique cultural flavors to the British potpourri. Walk down any street and you can taste the world, from spicy curries to delicate dumplings, each dish a story of migration and adaptation. Yet, amidst this transformation and progress, the scars of the past remain. The legacy of crime and migration has shaped not only the physical landscape of London, but also its societal fabric. The tales of the past continue to be told, serving as a reminder of the city's turbulent history. Issues such as poverty, inequality, and social exclusion, although less pronounced, still exist, a lingering shadow of the past. They are the silent reminders of the struggles that once plagued these streets, the battles fought, and the lives forever changed. While London has come a long way from its darker days, the shadows of its past continue to linger. But as with any city, it's these shadows that add depth and character, painting a picture that's as rich and complex as the city itself. So, we've taken a journey through time, from the bustling streets of 19th century London to the modern city we know today. We've peeled back the layers of charm and sophistication to reveal a city that's seen the best and worst of humanity. We began by exploring the city of contrasts. London, a city that's known for its iconic landmarks like the Big Ben and Buckingham Palace, but also a city with a darker side, a side that's often overlooked. We dove into the depths of London's dark underbelly, a world far removed from the glitz and glamour of the city's tourist attractions. Then, we delved into the story of London's most dangerous criminal, a figure who instilled terror throughout the city, playing a twisted game of cat and mouse with the police. This was a time when London was a haven for migrants, a melting pot of cultures and classes, but also a hunting ground for this notorious criminal. We also looked at the legacy of the past, how this tumultuous period in London's history has shaped the city we know today, how the echoes of the past can still be heard in the bustling streets, in the whispers of the city's old buildings, and in the spirit of its people. As we journeyed through London's complex history, we've seen how every street corner, every building, every alleyway tells a story. A story of a city that's been shaped by its past, a city that's borne witness to the darkest corners of humanity, but also a city that's risen from the ashes, time and time again. So next time you think of London, remember, beneath the charm and sophistication lies a city with a rich and complex history, a city that has witnessed both the best and worst of humanity.